Okay, so good morning. Again, this is Francisco Caliwan Jr. and today we will answer the problems in our handout um, for IAS 41 Agriculture. So let's start with problem 1. ProFood International Corporation operates a mango plantation and produces dried mangoes and mango puree. On December 31, 2019, ProFood provided the following information regarding its plantation. So we have the assets, mango trees, mango fruits awaiting ripening, still attached to the trees, mango fruits harvested on December 31, 2019, dried mangoes, mango puree, land, roads, and production plant. Also presented are the fair value less cost to sell as of December 31, 2019, the estimated selling price as less estimated cost to sell as of December 31, 2019, and the carrying amounts as of December 31, 2019 of the assets. ProFood uses the cost model in measuring its property, plant, and equipment. Okay, so the requirements. Number one, what amount of biological assets shall be presented in the December 31, 2019 Statement of Financial Position? Number two, what amount of property, plant, and equipment shall be presented in the December 31, 2019 Statement of Financial Position? And number three, what amount of inventories shall be presented in the December 31, 2019 Statement of Financial Position? So, for us to answer this problem, let us again um, try to remember the definitions of biological assets, PP, and inventories as defined in the respective standards. Okay, so for the definition of biological asset, IAS 41 defines biological asset as a living animal or plant. And we know that a biological asset is further classified into two. So we have consumable and bearer. Consumable biological assets are those that are to be harvested as agricultural produce or sold as biological assets. Examples are livestock intended for the production of meat or livestock held for sale. Whereas bearer biological assets are those other than consumable. So, for example, livestock from which milk is produced and fruit trees from which fruit is harvested. Bearer biological assets are not agricultural produce but held to bear produce. Now, talking about bearer biological assets, we have bearer plant. So, according to IAS 41, bearer plant is a living plant that is used in the production or supply of agricultural produce, is expected to bear produce for more than one counting period, and has a remote likelihood of being sold as agricultural produce except for incidental scrap sales. So, as we can notice, the definition of a bearer plant um, is essentially the same with the definition of a property, plant, and equipment. Therefore, bearer plant, although defined in IAS 41, is scoped out in IAS 41 and now under IA 16 because a bearer plant is considered as PPE, property, plant, and equipment. And finally, we have inventories as defined in IAS 2. Inventories are assets held for sale in the ordinary course of business, in the process of production for such sale, or in form of materials or supplies to be consumed in the production process or in the rendering of service. Okay, so applying these definitions for a mango plantation, say for example, we can say that a mango plant is considered as a bearer plant, therefore accounted for as PPE using IAS 16. How about mango fruits? So we have to consider whether the mango fruits are still attached to the tree, um, awaiting ripening, or already harvested. So for mango fruits still growing on the tree, they are considered as biological assets, whereas mango fruits already harvested are now considered as inventory. Now, how about dried mangoes, the product after harvest, still they are considered as inventory. And the production plant, including the lands, the roads under trees, or the land under trees, are considered as PPE. Okay, so going back to the problem, let us answer this problem using a table. So our first column for the assets, second column for biological assets, third for PPE, and fourth for inventories. And then let us have the assets mentioned. You have mango trees, mango fruits awaiting ripening, mango fruits harvested, dried mangoes, mango puree, land, roads, and the plant. Okay, so first, mango trees. As discussed, mango trees in a mango plantation are considered as bearer plant. So, PPE. And how do we account for PPE? According to IAS 16, cost model, book value is equal to cost less accumulated depreciation less accumulated impairment loss. How about using the revaluation model? So we have fair value less subsequent accumulated depreciation and subsequent accumulated impairment losses. The problem mentioned that ProFood uses cost model. So how much is the carrying amount of the PPE or the mango trees? 6,500,000. Now, mango fruits awaiting ripening. So as mentioned, fruits still attached to the tree are still biological assets. And how do we measure biological assets? Fair value less cost to sell. So, biological assets, 1,500,000. Mango fruits harvested. So, as mentioned a while ago, for purposes of FS presentation, harvested mango fruits are already considered as inventories. Now, for measurement purposes, the fair value less cost to sell at the point of harvest is the deemed cost. So, yun yung daladalang cost ng harvested mangoes bago siya maging inventory. And once maging inventory siya, our measurement will change. From IAS 41, we will now apply IAS 2. And for IAS 2, the measurement is the lower of cost or NRV. In the problem, it was mentioned that the date of harvest is also December 31, 2019. So, our measurement is fair value less cost to sell, which is siya din naman yung estimated selling price less estimated cost to sell, the NRV. So, that will be the amount to be used for mango fruits harvested. So, 1,900,000. How about dried mangoes? So, these are already product after harvest. So, inventory, LC and RV. So, NRV is 3 million, carrying value is 2.8, we will use 2.8. Mango puree, NRV is 1,200,000, carrying amount is 1 million, we will use 1 million. Now, for the land, roads, and production plant, these are all PPE, so we will use the carrying amount. So land is 3 million, cemented roads 1,500,000, and production plant 2,400,000. Okay, so total for biological assets we have 1,500,000. For property, plant, and equipment we have 13,400,000, and for inventory we have 5,700,000. Okay, so let's discuss problem 3. The following items and their fair values less cost to sell are presented on December 31, 2019. So, trees grown for use as lumber, trees cultivated both for their fruit and their lumber, annual crops, freestanding trees, bearer plants, fruits growing on bearer plants, flock of sheep, wool from sheep. Based on the foregoing, what total amount will be reported as biological assets? So, actually, we already know the classification of bearer plants, that's PPE. Fruits growing on bearer plants, BA. Flock of sheep, BA. And wool from sheep, inventory. So, our problem now is the classification for trees grown for use as lumber, trees cultivated both for their fruit and lumber, annual crops, and freestanding trees. Actually, IAS 41, paragraph 5A, provides for the classification of these specific assets. So according to PAS 41, 5A, the following are not bearer plants. Plants cultivated to be harvested are as agricultural produce. Plants cultivated to produce agricultural produce when there is more than remote likelihood that the entity will also harvest and sell the plant as agricultural produce other than incidental scrap sales and annual crops. So, plants cultivated to be harvested as agricultural produce. So, tinanim and sila mismo yung hina-harvest as agricultural produce are considered as biological asset. They are not bearer plants. So example na, trees grown for use as lumber. So, the 4,400,000 is BA. Next is, yun nga, for incidental scrap sales, trees that are cultivated both for their fruit and their lumber, also considered as biological assets. 3,400,000. Annual crops, 2,800,000, also considered as biological assets. Now, what is this freestanding tree? Say for example, in a mango plantation, hindi naman imposible that other than mango trees, there are other trees growing on the mango plantation. Say for example, you have coconut trees. So since that is a mango plantation, coconut trees are not considered as bearer plant unless those coconut trees will produce mango. Diba? So, coconut trees are considered as freestanding trees according to the standard. Those are considered as biological assets. Hindi naman sila PPE eh. So, what is the total amount to be reported as biological assets? So, 4,400,000 plus 3,400,000 plus 28 plus 400,000 plus 3,100,000 and plus 4,800,000, we have 18,900,000. Okay, so let's discuss problem 3. Brookside Farm is engaged in raising daily livestock. The following information pertains to Brookside on December 31, 2019. So we have price of livestock in the farm, price of livestock in the market, broker's commission, and transport cost. What amount should the biological assets be presented in the December 31, 2019 statement of financial position? Okay, so measurement. According to IAS 41, paragraph 12, biological assets are measured initial recognition and at the end of its reporting period, its fair value less cost to sell. Fair value is the price that would be received to sell an asset or paid to transfer a liability in an orderly transaction between market participants at the measurement date. Now, the question is, where can we find the market participants for biological assets, in the farm or in the city market? Of course, in the farm. So we will use the 5,300,000 fair value. Sa city market, we cannot find the biological assets in the city market. Tama? What are being offered in the city market are not the biological assets but the produce out of the biological assets already. So in this case, yung livestock ang nasa city market, karne na. Whereas the biological assets, yung mga livestock na buhay pa, still in the farm. And if you are a if you are a engaged in raising dairy livestock, you will not go to the city market to sell your products. The buyers will go to the farm. So in the farm, we can already find the market participants. And then how about cost to sell? So costs to sell are the incremental costs directly attributable to the disposal of an asset, excluding finance cost and income taxes. So we have broker's commission and transport cost. So for purposes of determining fair value less cost to sell, we only deduct the broker's commission because transport cost is not necessary because, as I mentioned earlier, the fair value to be used is the fair value in the farm because it is in the farm that we can find the market participants. So what's our answer? 5,300,000 minus 120,000. We have 5,180,000. Okay, problem 4. Excellence Dairy produces milk and sells them to local ice cream producers. Excellence Dairy began operations on January 1, 2019 by purchasing 840 milk cows for 1,176,000. The company controller had the following information available at year-end relating to the cows. So carrying value on January 1, 1,176,000. Change in fair value of milking cows due to growth and price changes, 365,000. Change in fair value of milking cows due to harvest, decreased by 42,000, and milk harvested remained unsold on December 31, 54,000. At December 31, 2019, what is the value of the milking cows on the company's statement of financial position? Then on Excellence Dairy's income statement, what amount of unrealized gain on biological assets will be reported, and what amount of unrealized gain on harvested milk will be reported. Okay, so according to IAS 41, assets are valued at fair value less cost to sell. And then the fair value less cost to sell at the end of the period are adjusted for any change in fair value due to growth and price changes. Actually, this is specifically stated in the standard that these growth and price changes may be reported separately. And then any gain or loss or the changes in fair value due to harvest will also be included in the computation at the end of the reporting period. Whereas the fair value of milk harvested by December 31, made and sold by December 31, will be recorded as inventory with a credit to unrealized gain. So what will be our answer? So for milking cows, we have 1176 plus 365,000 increase in fair value due to growth and price change, and less 42,000 decrease in fair value due to harvest. So we will have 1,499,000. And then for second question, unrealized gain on biological asset, that is 365,000 less 42,000, we have 323,000. And unrealized gain for harvested milk, we have 54,000. What's our entry for this particular transaction? So for the 365,000 and 42,000 net of 323,000, our entry for that is debit to biological asset and credit to unrealized gain. And for the 54,000 harvest, we have debit inventory 54 and credit to unrealized gain for the same amount. Okay, next problem. Lenny Yama purchased 1,000 Yama on January 1, 2019. These Yama will be sheared semi-annually and their wool sold to specialty clothing manufacturers. The Yama were purchased for 222,000. During 2019, the change in fair value due to growth and price changes is 14,100. The wool harvested but not yet sold is valued at net realizable value of 27,000, and the change in fair value due to harvest is 1,750. So on Lenny Yama income statement for the year ending December 31, 2019, what amount of unrealized gain on biological assets will be reported? So same with the previous problem. So we'll just compare the change in fair value due to growth and price change of 14,100 and the change in fair value due to harvest, which is a decrease of 1,750, a net amount of 12,350. Okay, now for our last problem. A group of 22-year-old cattle was held January 1, 2019. On this date, 5 2-year-old cattle were purchased for 12,000 each and 5 calves were born. No cows or calves were disposed of during the year. Per unit fair value less cost to sell were as follows. So January 1, 2-year-old, 12,000, newborn is 4,000, and on December 31, 2-year-old is 13,000, 3-year-old is 15,000, 1-year-old is 7,000, and newborn is 5,000. The company records separately the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to physical change and fair value less cost to sell due to price change. So, how much shall be taken to profit or loss as a gain arising from change in fair value due to physical change and price change? What amount shall be presented in the December 31, 2019 Statement of Financial Position as biological assets? And assume that 10 3-year-old cattle were sold for 15,000 each. How much gross income shall be reported on the company's profit or loss for the year ended December 31, 2019? So to answer this problem, let us analyze first the assets by January 1 and December 31. So at first, we have 25 2-year-old cattle on January 1. And of course, 3 years old na sila by December 31. And we have 5 newborn on January 1 and 1-year-old sila by December 31. Okay, so sige, let's answer the problem. First, with the change in fair value due to price change and physical change. So let's enumerate our asset and let's have the column for price change and physical change. So for our assets, we have 2-year-old on January 1 priced as 12,000, 2-year-old on December 31 priced at 13,000, and 3-year-old on December 31 priced at 15,000. For price change, it's the difference in prices for an animal with the same age at different dates. So the difference of 2-year-old 2-year-old on January 1 and 2-year-old on December 31, which is 1,000, is our price change. So 1,000 times 25. And then the difference of 2-year-old on December 31 and 3-year-old on December 31, which is 2,000 at 25, is our physical change. Now, other than 3-year-old animal, December 31, we also have newborn on January 1. So we have 5 newborn on January 1 priced at 4,000 each. That is already reported as physical change. And then we have newborn on December 31 priced at 5,000 each, and 1-year-old on December 31 priced at 7,000 each. So the difference of newborn price on January 1 and newborn price on December 31, which is 1,000, times 5 is our price change, and newborn on December 31 and 1-year-old on December 31, price difference of 2,000 times 5 is our physical change. So total changes, price is 30,000 and physical change is 80,000. So going back to the question, physical change is 80 and price change is 30. How about the other question? What amount shall be presented in the December 31, 2019 Statement of Financial Position as biological assets? So again, how many assets do we have by December 31? We have 25 3-year-old priced at 15,000 each, and 5 1-year-old priced at 7,000 each, a total of 410,000 pesos. Next, assume that 10 3-year-old cattle were sold for 15,000 each. The selling price is equal to the fair value less cost to sell of the asset by December 31. How much gross income shall be reported on the company's profit or loss? Actually, the question here is the total income to be reported in the statement of profit or loss by December 31, 2019. Again, that is the total change in fair value. And in this problem, our change in fair value is the changes due to price change and physical change, which are 80,000 and 30,000, in total 110,000. So that is our total gross income for the year.